Hey guys,
Hello.
welcome to
Hi.
GeekdomMovies episode 8, and we are coming to a close on the summer movie season. We just saw Hobbs and Shaw. George and I did our 2-minute review, and Shannon, you just saw it right now, like
Yeah,
a couple of days ago.
I sure did.
So yeah, this is going to be our final summer movie season review. We are still going to see movies, but we wanted to do a recap of like our favorite movies and like the top 5 we saw this summer, early spring, late spring. So yeah, well, you know what? Before we do that, do you want to introduce people to our new?
Yes, so if you guys haven't been with us before, we do movie reviews every week. We release videos just about every Thursday. So stay tuned and watch our show. And if you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, don't do anything. No, just kidding. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so we can continue to grow. And there is a Patreon link in the description down below, along with timestamps. So if you can throw us a couple of bucks, that helps us continue to grow our channel, and that's the only way that we can, really get revenue for these videos.
The more money we make, the more things we can do with the website and YouTube channel. And our goal, okay, we haven't actually talked about this, but since we're coming to a close in the summer season, our goal, Shannon, George, and I, we want to do this full time. We are willing to quit our jobs to do YouTube for you guys. And
Well, I hope my boss isn't watching this.
I hope he is. Maybe he'll subscribe.
Long-term goal.
Long-term goal. This, I mean, we're not expecting this to happen in the next month or two or a year, but whenever it happens, our goal is to do this as a full-fledged career. We grow our website, GeekdomMovies.com. We grow our YouTube channel, and we have exciting ideas. We want to, get early reviews. Once we move up more, we can see early reviews for movies before the movies come out, so we can even submit early movie reviews down the road, and we can also do interviews with people. There's so much potential and opportunity. We're excited to see where it goes. You guys, I mean, it's been 4 months of this, and we started April, May, and we've grown so much. You guys submit questions, you're commenting, you're liking, you're subscribing, you're on the website. The website's blowing up. We just want to thank you, the fans, for watching us, being part of this journey that we're on. We're really excited. We've grown so much, and we've learned so much from one another as YouTubes and things like that. And also from just hearing from you guys and what you like. So our goal is to keep that going, keep subscribing, tell your friends, family, keep liking, keep commenting. We love to hear from you guys.
And you are doing an AMC gift card giveaway.
Yes. So we are going to do a gift card giveaway. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough likes and comments. There was only like 2, so the more we get, the more opportunities. So we're going to do one in the last week of September. So if you have friends or family, or if you want to just, the more likes you give, the more comments you make, the more chances you go up in getting the gift card. So we're going to do a $40 AMC gift card. That's 2 months of A-list on AMC. You get 2 months free movies. That's a pretty good deal. You can take your friends, family. You can go to the movies anytime you want for those 2 months with that $40 gift card. So definitely watch out for that and keep a lookout for that. We'll be doing that in the last week of September. And yeah, chances to win.
All right.
Yeah.
If you guys have a movie that you want us to review, put it in the comments down below, and we want to hear your opinions as well. So put all those comments down there.
They actually do. They want to see it.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
That's on the list.
Have you seen it?
I've seen the first one, yeah.
I've seen the first one too.
I still have not seen the first one yet.
So I really liked the first one.
It was good.
It was really good. Mm-hmm. So we will be reviewing it. I think it comes out September 6th, right after Labor Day. Yeah. Or something like that. Is it Labor Day weekend?
So we
September
can't wear white to go see it.
Why?
It's after Labor Day.
Oh! If you're in America, you got the joke. If you're not, and you're tuning in from who knows where, you're probably like, what? That's a whole thing in America. Anyways, the point is, it comes out Labor Day weekend. We will be seeing it, Chapter 2. Next week, we're seeing Dora, and what was the other movie we mentioned?
The Kitchen.
The Kitchen, the DC Comics movie.
And Scary Stories to See in the Dark, or Tell in the Dark.
I think I might just send George to go see that. He likes scary stories.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell us how scared you were watching scary stories. But we will for sure be doing, all 3 of us, guaranteed, Dora, and we will definitely be...
Dora the Explorer.
Actually, I've never seen anything Dora, so I'm guessing that's the theme song.
Yeah.
I like lamb chops. I saw lamb chops and Barney. Does that count?
Sure, yeah.
Dora, and then we'll be seeing The Kitchen, and all 3 of us will have that review up next week. Look for that, and we also have Another update for you guys. We're gonna try to. You guys have been asking so much for us to not wait so long after the movie comes out to do a review because you want to see it as soon as possible it comes out. So our goal now is to do a video review every Monday evening to have it up Monday evening for you guys 2 days after the movie comes out. That still gives you plenty of time to go see it if you don't want to see it or just want to hear our thoughts and you like, seeing our beautiful faces. Well, maybe not mine, but George and Shannon's. I'm okay. Um, but yeah, we will try to do a video every Monday night from now on for you guys. It should be up. In case I'm editing or doing something stupid and I don't get to it, I will try to at least have it up by Tuesday. Our schedules sometimes get really hectic with work and other things, so I can't always guarantee it. But our goal is, we hear you. We're gonna try to do that every Monday night. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about now Hobbs and Shaw. Me and George side. We did our 2-minute review. Shannon is gonna talk about it now and what she thought of Hobbs and Shaw. That your floor is yours for 2 minutes.
So I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie, so I was bored out of my mind during this movie. There was a couple of cool scenes. I mean, The Rock is always enjoyable.
Yes, he is.
His daughter was adorable.
Yeah.
Anytime she was on screen, I was happy, but she was only on screen for 5 minutes. The female spy was kind of cool, but not enough to keep me interested. And his sidekick, what's the annoying guy's name? The guy on the phone that's telling The Rock where he's
Kevin
in the
Hart?
CIA. Yeah,
Kevin Hart
Kevin Hart was
from
funny.
Jumanji?
Yeah, Kevin Hart was funny.
No.
But
That might be spoiler.
No, who's the CIA agent?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh
The
my
guy,
goodness.
the CIA
Ryan
agent.
Reynolds.
Well,
What?
I will
Is that
tag.
what it was?
Yeah, I will tag spoilers on this because that is spoilerish. Those cameos are a surprise, but yeah, did you like Ryan Reynolds or you didn't like Ryan Reynolds
He was the one on the phone,
from
right?
Deadpool
Hold on, wait. I've never seen Deadpool. Was Ryan Reynolds the CIA agent
on the
for
phone?
The Rock? He was always talking to them on the phone.
About
he was
what?
in the restaurant with the pancakes.
Yep.
That's Ryan Reynolds.
Yep, that's Ryan
That's
He was
Reynolds.
in
Deadpool.
the end credit scene.
And
Okay,
He's
yes.
my favorite part of the movie, actually.
Yes.
He was hilarious.
I think everybody agrees. Like across the board, see this movie for Ryan Reynolds.
And then the scenes in the trailer were the best part of the movie. So if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the good action scenes. It was kind of cool how they did, the guns kind of shut down. And I don't want to try not to spoil it.
It's too late. You already started with the cameos, so it's all
I
spoiler
didn't know
now,
we were
baby.
doing a spoiler-free review.
And yeah.
It was
Well,
kinda
I
cool.
was, but it's all right.
It was-
I think it's fine.
It was
I'll
kinda-
tag it. I'm gonna let you talk now. I'm sorry.
It was kind of cool how they had the family come together and fight with their ancient weapons.
Mhm.
Completely unrealistic, but that was the point of the movie. And it was kind of cool how the guns got shut down because they went offline. And the elevator scene was fun. But come on, The Rock is jumping out of a building on top of a guy and strangling. This was just completely a guy movie. I don't have the amount of testosterone needed to enjoy it. Action movies put me to sleep. So.
All right, go see it.
I was
Don't go
bored,
see it.
but-
What's your rating?
If you like action movies and if you like dumb, fun rock movies, go see it. But if you function mostly on estrogen, you probably won't like this movie.
Go see The Notebook.
I hate The Notebook.
I've never actually seen The Notebook. I was just guessing.
I haven't
right?
either.
Don't waste your
just-
time.
Is it really? I thought that's estrogen. Whatever you mentioned earlier.
I don't like it.
Okay, well,
But I stand alone in that opinion. Most girls.
I like
love
La
it.
La Land. How about that?
La La Land was alright.
Okay,
I
there you
have
go.
not
It was
seen
long.
La La Land.
Oh, it's good. My wife and I saw it on a date night. But anyways, okay. So thank you for finally submitting your review. I appreciate your thoughts. I will say, look, I grew up with 80s action movies. We're talking Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Rambo,
Die Hard is
Arnold Schwarzenegger running around, blowing things up. I miss Kindergarten Cop. That was great. But we have kind of left those type of movies, like the buddy cop, Beverly Hills Cops with Eddie Murphy. We have left the buddy cop genre behind in the last decade or two. I don't think I see anything where two guys who don't like each other but have to partner up and stop a crime or save the world. That
Only one I've seen so far this summer, I think, was Stuber.
Stuber was good, but it was not really a buddy cop movie. It was more like a comedy. But yeah, I can see where you're coming
The
from.
Like
last one I saw was
This-
Zootopia.
Okay, there you go. See, Zootopia is one of my favorite Disney
It's a
movies.
good
by far.
movie. We
that
saw
was
that
really
together.
good.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I believe you.
Thanks.
The point is that I really miss those type of action movies where, yes, it's comedy, but it's not the front and center. The front and center is buddy cop movie with action and things exploding and, the damsel in distress and the villain who gives his villain remarks of, oh, this is my big plan.
He started monologuing.
Incredible quote. I love it. But yeah, for me, that really filled that hole because we're not getting those movies. And because Jason Statham and The Rock are so freaking good. Their chemistry is so good. Like, the way they banter and go off one another, I could literally watch that all day.
I thought they were supposed to be brothers for the first half of the movie. Because they were so similar.
Oh,
They were showing them side by side.
Oh, they are, yeah.
And then he was like, this is my sister. And The Rock was like, what? And I was like, how did you not know that you have another sister? And I was so confused.
By the way, this doesn't even tie into the Fast and Furious movies. It's something. It's just a buddy cop.
Fast and Furious Presents.
Yeah, they took the characters away, but it is its own movie. It has nothing to do with those movies. Besides,
but the characters are established in those other movies, right?
Kind of.
They were relying on you knowing those other characters and them having a backstory from Fast and Furious. I had no clue what anything was going on.
Well, the Rock is the Rock is like FBI, CIA, and Jason Statham's character is MI6 spy Britain. Like who he works for with his sister. So they have two different companies. So The Rock is America and Jason Statham is Britain. I guess MI6 is in Britain, right?
Isn't there a movie coming out with The Rock and Vin Diesel soon?
I mean, they did 4 movies like that. That's Fast and Furious movies. The Rock and Vin Diesel. Okay. It is the same character, but he doesn't really have The Rock in Fast and Furious movies. This is his role. I'm a CIA agent. I have to stop this guy. I need Vin Diesel's help. Every movie was just like that. So really, you're not really getting The Rock's background at all. All you know is he's this big muscular guy who takes out bad guys.
That's all he is.
That's all he is.
That's what he is.
That's what he is.
He is in this movie too.
But this movie had a daughter. You get to see his family.
He also did have a daughter in the last Fast and Furious.
That's how bad my memory is. I wouldn't even remember that.
Okay, because he wasn't... at one point, he was in the hospital with his arm in a cast, and he's like, Daddy's got to go to work, and then he just breaks it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, see, I didn't even remember that. But I believe you. And then, Jason Statham's character had a sister. I know his mom was in the old movies, where she's like a Ocean's 11 kind of a robber person.
I thought they should have had the little daughter, be a more part of the plot. She discovers something that nobody else could figure out, or she online at home.
Are you Stranger Things this?
Yes, that would have been much better. The Stranger Things 80s movie was way better.
No, I'll give you that. Again, like I said, this is a dumb action movie. Look, you know what you're walking into when you see it.
The Rock at one point is holding on to an airplane with a helicopter in one hand and a car in the other hand and pulling them together.
Yeah.
This is not a realistic movie.
That's true.
Moana was more realistic than this movie.
I don't know about that part. I wouldn't go that
Physics
far, but they're both
Moana.
But they are both fantasy realm. An enhanced guy who's Black Superman running around. And
if that's what you want to see, it's great. It's a serviceable action dumb flick.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think again, I think we can all agree. If you like action movies, you'll probably like this movie. If you don't like action movies, you probably won't. But it's still funny. Like Shannon said, Ryan Reynolds and some of the other banter stuff, it is funny. You will get something out of it.
The trailer, you'll see all the funny parts.
Yeah.
Except for the cameos.
And
except for the cameos.
Credits. Cameo.
The end credits. I'm so glad. I'll be honest. I'll see the next movie for one reason. Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds are going to be a huge part of that movie.
Oh, they
are? And I can't wait. Yes.
It made me want to see Jumanji again with The Rock and
Jumanji 2 comes out, right?
Yes, I'm so excited for that one.
Too. We saw the trailer together at watching Hobbs and Shaw.
Reboot or something. When does that one come out?
December?
Awesome.
I think it comes out December.
Yeah, I think so.
That one.
Yeah. Well, anywho, long story short, action movie, good. Don't see it. If you don't like action movies, stay home. Maybe rent it or something. If you're on a bored, evening. But it's not a movie. I don't think you even need to see it, even if you like action movies. I honestly think you could wait to see it at home. It's not a movie that you really... It's fun, but it's not great. And you don't need to go out of your way to see it. Would
It's
you agree?
one, yeah, I would say it's one where if you're really bored on the weekend and you just want to go see a movie, it's great for that. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, I would just wait till it's out on DVD.
Right. And then Shannon would say should probably never watch something like this unless we make her. And we made her, so it was fun. You did it for us and your fans.
Throw a couple bucks
we
in the
appreciate
Patreon,
it.
you guys. Do you see what they put me through?
Well, me and George are gonna sit through Dora next week.
You guys are dying to sit through Dora.
We are.
I said,
I'm not.
I'm
okay,
excited about
hold
it.
up. Before the camera started, I said, I'll go see Dora. You guys can go see scary movies to see in the dark.
I
And
don't
they
wanna
said,
see that movie.
no, we want to see Dora.
I do want to see Dora, but I would never watch Dora if it was just. I would wait for it to be on DVD. I think.
I gave you an out so
Probably-
you didn't
probably
have to
so.
see it, and you said you
No.
wanted to see it.
No, we're gonna. Well, the thing is, if it's a big popular movie coming, even if it's Hobbs and Shaw,
Yeah.
we all try to see it so we can either trash it.
So you guys
Or we
think
can,
Dora is going to be better than Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
That's
That's a hard one.
because they're so different genres. I don't think it's like
More
comparing.
popular, a bigger movie.
Here's
Dora's
the
definitely gonna
problem.
be more popular.
For sure.
Yeah.
My problem is that I still haven't seen the trailer for Dora yet.
Really?
So I don't.
The trailer's hilarious.
Yeah, you should skip the trailers. If it's coming out in 1 week, just don't even.
Well, I know I don't
Nickelodeon-
want. I don't want to see any spoilers in the trailer, and they all seem to have spoilers these days. So.
Yeah, that's true. If
I-
you haven't seen the
yeah.
trailer for Dora, it's what, like Thursday? So it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, you could literally walk in tomorrow. We could actually. Should we
You
all
could
go see
walk in
Dora?
tonight, but that's
I don't know
beside
about
the
that.
point.
You need to sleep. He
I
needs
do.
to
Tomorrow's
sleep.
Friday. I can go see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
The point is, we're all gonna see movies that are all three of us are gonna try to see, and we're gonna see The Kitchen next week too. So look forward to that.
Mhm.
I'm excited. I love Melissa McCarthy. I love Melissa McCarthy so much.
What's
Her,
that
she'll
one?
never top her role in Gilmore Girls. Ever since they started typecasting her as like the fat, gross chick.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Right now.
Gilmore Girls. She was in
I've
Gilmore Girls
never-
as Sookie. The
No,
girls,
but why
the
is she
ladies know what I'm
fat
saying.
and gross? I don't think
Like
she's
every
fat and
movie
gross.
she's in, she's stereotyped as like the fat.
Are you-
I don't think she's fat.
I
and
don't.
gross.
I don't.
That's what the,
I
I don't
the
think they do
jokes
that at
are in
all. And I've
every
seen a lot
movie.
of. They don't make fun of her weight.
Okay, you
or,
know what was funny?
Every movie she's in, that's what they do
Was-
to her.
I thought the one where it
I
was
hate
almost
it.
like she was that
The cop one with Sandra Bullock.
like like a tycoon or
Oh yeah. What
Oh, where
was
she's
money
like-
mongrel.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a funny
She's
movie.
a really talented actress. I would like to
Have
see
you
her.
seen
have-
Absolutely.
Spy? She's really good in Spy.
I haven't. I liked her in
That was
the
awesome.
one with Sandra Bullock where she's a cop.
That had Jason Statham too.
Yep. You
Oh,
should
did
see.
Spy.
You should.
Oh, that
you
was
should
so
go
good.
out of your way to see Spy
Yes.
with Melissa McCarthy. It's
Okay.
It
that
is
good.
worth it.
All right.
It is
It's
so
like-
worth it.
Me and Stephanie rented it. We watched. I'm sorry, I know I'm going on a tangent, but it doesn't matter because who cares? But the point is, like, we rented Spy. We watched it through, and then we watched it again because it was so funny.
Okay.
That is
Like
awesome.
literally, we watched it twice, like back to back, because we were like, we have to just watch it again because it is so good. It is so good. You really should see Spy. But the point is, like, when she's playing that character, when they can cast her well, like Spy or the one you mentioned with Sandra Bullock.
Gilmore Girls.
Okay, I don't watch.
Okay, but I do, and I'm saying that was her best role. Yeah.
I have seen some episodes because my wife has like every season of Gilmore Girls.
Because it's a great
and
show.
she still watches it today. She'll repeat watch
Well,
it. I don't
Melissa
know what's
McCarthy's in every episode.
and
of
I've
Gilmore
seen her in the
Girls.
kitchen
Yeah,
and
yeah.
working in the hotel, and
Okay.
I've seen she's good, but I
Yeah.
think she's better in these movies because she is
She's comedic.
front and
She's
center.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really great to. I just really like her, so I'm excited for the kitchen.
Cool.
Even though I know she's not going to be laughing at all in the kitchen.
It also has that chick from what's the red hood and the white hood on Hulu? What's it called? The one about all the women that are pregnant and the government.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
I forgot the name of it.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
Oh,
It has
she's in that.
the
Handmaid's
she's a
Tale.
Melissa
fantastic actress.
McCarthy's in that?
No,
Oh,
the
no.
lady who's in the kitchen is also in Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
the main
okay,
actress.
okay.
She's fantastic in that role. She's a really good
It
actress,
just-
so I'm excited to see her in a different role because Handmaid's Tale is
Do
too
you like
dark.
that show?
No, it's too dark, and I can't. It's well acted. It is beautifully shot.
It's what I was thinking when I don't want to watch it for that reason.
It's
actually.
well acted. It's beautiful to look at, but it is dark and grim, and I couldn't get through more than one season. And I usually can watch anything.
Wow. Okay
It's
then.
dark and disturbing.
Well, she's in it. That sounds interesting.
But she's a good actress, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see Kitchen, see how it is. But I mean, let's move on to our top 5 of summer season. So we've been doing this video. We started with Aladdin, and we talked about Endgame. We did a lot of movies, and yeah, I'm really excited to do our season catch up. We've been doing this for 4 months, and we had really good movies that we want to talk about and share, and what we thought was the best movie. So George,
top 5.
Top 5. Yeah, George, start. What is your the first movie, that number 5?
Well,
I gotta get my
number 5.
Yeah, we're not gonna. The number 1's gonna be last.
Okay. So number 5 for me, that was Aladdin. It was a great remake. Like, I mean, I thought it was awesome. It was kind of stood on its own, really. Let's see, Will Smith as the genie. I'm amazed he was able to pull it off. He did an amazing job, honestly.
It was good.
And I'm trying to think of what else there was.
Didn't you write down a list? What happened to your list?
I did.
That's what I'm pulling up.
There, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
no, like we don't have put bullet points. We can talk about it.
I have a list of the things I liked about it here. All right, so the other thing I liked was, well, there were 2 other things. I'm really glad they added a backstory for Jafar, even if it was just like a little bit of one. It definitely made him a much more interesting character, because before it's like he's a bad guy and you always knew it, and that's just what he was. But now you kind of know there's a reason.
Yeah, he kind of has the same background as Aladdin, a thief who
exactly.
kind of moves up, but instead of Aladdin becoming evil, he becomes evil. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other great
thing.
thing.
Oh wait, are you on Aladdin still? Don't go to number 4.
Yeah, I'm still on Aladdin.
Okay. I
All
thought
right.
you were going to 4.
The other awesome thing I thought about it was how they did Jasmine, and like her role in it was really good. I mean, like, she's actually like in this one, like in the other ones, yeah, she was a rather independent person, but this one, like, they actually portrayed her as like, a potential really good leader, and I thought that was awesome, absolutely awesome that they did that. And the song Speechless, oh my goodness,
that was a good
great
song. Yeah, it was great. It was like Elsa, but in real life.
Yeah. Well, number 5 for George is Aladdin. We're gonna move on to my number 5, which was Once Upon a Time in Good Old Hollywood.
Really, that was only number 5.
I mean, 5 still is kind of a big deal because I still really enjoyed it.
Okay.
But the reason, I just enjoyed more movies this season. I won't go into the negatives for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love the settings of the 1960s Hollywood. I love movies, so I can eat up the music, the film of that time, the way Los Angeles and Hollywood is portrayed. The cinematography is so beautiful. Like I could literally watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with no sound down in the background, just for the cinematography alone and just like what they're showing in the movie. Also, Leo and Brad are phenomenal. They are like in the top, like they're just probably the best acting I've seen out of both of them in a while.
Yeah.
And just their like sense of humor and how they both relate to each other. How Brad Pitt is the stunt double and Leo is the actor, and their relationship in that and what it looks like was just so well done. I think Brad Pitt is gonna get nominated for an Oscar, and he might actually win it because of, like, Leo's good, but Brad Pitt really sells this movie for me. So I just ate all that up, and of course I know this is spoilers because we're doing our top 5. The ending, I did not see it coming. I did not see the fact that the Manson family did not kill Margaret Robbie's character, real life actor Sharon Tate, and how Brad and Leo like kind of turned it on them and like killed them instead. And I thought that was really fun. Probably the best like half an hour I've had in any movie this year by far. I really just enjoyed watching the Mason family get what they deserve, kind of just the horrible things they did to Sharon Tate. So yeah, like, for I think Quentin Tarantino's best movie in years. And I liked a lot of his movies. I loved Inglourious Basterds. I liked Django. I kind of like Hateful Eight, but this is the movie that really, like, was probably, I would put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in my top like 3 movies for Quentin Tarantino, I would say.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's my number 5. What about you, Shannon? What's your number 5?
Well, my number 5 was Toy Story 4.
Ooh, a lot lower than I was expecting for you
Yeah.
too.
You
I'm
know-
just a little shocked.
So there's a lot of movies where I'll walk out of the theater going, "Wow, I really loved that." But the real judge of a movie for me is, does it stay with me?
Mhm.
Do I think about it again? Do I want to see it again? Did it affect me in some way? Toy Story 4 was good. It's making my top 5, but it didn't stay with me the way some of these other movies did. They had a limited amount of things that they could do with just having Woody be the main character,
Yeah.
and they've written themselves into a corner. I think for what they had to work with, it's Pixar. They did a phenomenal job. They didn't want to make this sequel. Disney contracted and forced them into making this sequel. One of the reasons it's impressive is because with what they had to work with, they really pulled a cool story out of it. Still made me laugh. Still was fun. Still was heartwarming. But did it hold up to the original 3? No. It was close, but it wasn't the, it was like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes as opposed to 100.
Is it 97? I didn't know that actually.
97. It was.
I thought it was
close.
90, 99. Well, yeah.
I mean, it's a good movie. It's a
Right,
good,
right.
solid movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with actually everything you said. I like the Woody story, and he kind of gives the closure that he deserves as his character in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I loved. I think the thing that sells me the most is those new characters.
Yeah,
Sean,
Kay and Peele.
Oh my gosh,
Hilarious.
just
we
so
were
good.
dying laughing in the theater at
Yeah.
that one part.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
we
old
were
lady
dying.
scene.
Yeah. It's called the Plush Rush.
The plush. That's so true. But
Wait
yeah.
for it. Keep waiting. Keep waiting. Ah! It was
People who
hilarious.
haven't
It was
seen Toy
funny.
Story 4 are just like, what are you doing?
It was funny.
No, it is really good. Thanks, Shannon, for number 5. We're gonna move on to number 4. George, start us off at number 4.
Okay, so for me, number 4 was Toy Story 4.
Oh snap!
Higher slot than me.
So yeah, shocking. I thought it had an amazing plot. Extremely. It was surprising how for an animated film, just how complicated the relationships were in it. Like
That's true.
I've
give you
never
that.
seen any animated film where it's been that complicated. It was really rather interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. There was it definitely helped with I'm trying to remember what that one doll was. The one who seems like a villain for part of it. But like it helped show, like what
Oh,
self-worth
the
really
doll
is.
girl. I forgot her
Yeah.
name.
Polly doll or Molly doll or something doll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gabby. Yeah, Gabby. So yeah, Gabby. Like,
Gabby.
That's what
it really helped show, like the thing like that, being perfect doesn't necessarily mean everybody's gonna like you.
Mm-hmm.
And also that might not actually have anything to do with whether they like you or not.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I thought that was great. Like they had some very deep things in it. It had an extremely touching ending, I thought, with a
Yeah.
huge life choice.
Yeah.
Big
Like
life choice.
we're seeing the end of really Woody's character and who Woody has been and where he's going now. And I know you disagreed with this, but I like that the focus is Woody because he is leaving the toys, and this is his finale in some ways. Because if they do the next one, which they are, Tom Hanks will not be back, and
I don't believe that. He's gonna come back.
I mean anything's possible. But as of right now, they, even Tom Hanks said, "This is my finale. This is my ending," for giving Woody that perfect ending of 4 movies. And
They can't do a Toy Story movie just using Buzz.
It might
Jesse.
not do it. It's like doing
Can't do
another Avengers movie, but
It could be Toy Story presents Buzz and Jesse.
That
mean,
would seem so
I
strange.
don't. I think the reason we were introduced to the new characters is because Toy Story 5 is gonna start heading towards.
More like a reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it'll be like a refresh reboot of the Toy Story genres, and the next movie might be the end of. I'm just guessing here, but Buzz Lightyear or things like that. I'm guessing it's gonna be Buzz.
This would be like a
next movie.
spin-off, okay. In
And
the
then it's
same
going to
universe.
be in the same universe, but it's kind of like, because the Toy Story movies are $1 billion franchise. It is It's gonna make money, and they
And
have
they've just
to keep
built the new theme park in Disney.
right, and they're gonna keep wanting to make Toy Story movies, but they can't keep.
Well, here's the thing: Disney wants to make Toy Story movies. Disney's a cash-hungry, cash grab cow.
Well, any
They
company
don't
in
care.
Hollywood is cash hungry.
But
Yeah.
Pixar makes movies because they believe in the movie.
Right.
So Pixar is being forced into making a Toy Story 5.
I don't think so. I think we learned that
It's not
they
gonna
were
be good.
they were writing Toy Story 4 while Toy Story 3 was coming out, and they weren't just putting it for a cash grab. Even though every movie is a cash grab, because every movie wants to make money. Let's be honest.
Well, of course, yeah, and the movie should be geared to make money, but Pixar traditionally will not make a movie unless they believe in it within it itself as a story.
Cars. 4.
I have
No.
blocked Cars out of my memory. That doesn't exist.
But I'm just saying they do. It's not. I mean, I know what you're
The
saying.
vast
Pixar
majority
does,
of Pixar
yeah.
films are really good. I mean, we got the ones that haven't been good were ones that Disney forced them to make, like Monsters Inc. prequels. That
I
nobody
like
wanted.
that movie.
Really?
That was actually pretty good,
Yeah.
except for the fact that it seemed like it had some plot holes simply because.
But it was
we
still
could've
good.
had-
That's true.
I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but we could have had a sequel with Boo as an adult who actually believes in monsters and nobody believes her, and what a great story that would have been!
That's true.
Ugh,
Maybe that's a future
kills
one.
me.
Yeah. That's
Boo
true.
the movie. Make it happen, Pixar. It writes itself
Who's Boo?
from
The-
Monsters Inc.
The girl.
Yeah, the little girl.
Oh,
The
the
little
little
girl who
girl.
wasn't
Wow.
scared of
See,
him.
that's
She grows
That's my
up,
memory.
She goes back to her real world. She still believes in monsters, but none of her friends believe her because she's now in college, right?
well. We're getting a lot of views. Disney executives could be watching this and be like, "That girl has a smart idea. We're gonna make a sequel to
Well,
Monsters Inc."
I
as an
used to
adult."
work at Disney, so hire
And
me
you-
back.
I will write you stories.
Okay, what were we talking about?
Oh yeah, you're number 4.
And of course, the last favorite thing, well, not least favorite, but the last, for Toy Story 4 for me, the plush rush. As
That
you
was
said,
hilarious.
that was so
that
good.
made the movie. That
It
made it,
did.
worth the
It
price of
did.
admission.
You know what's really funny? I was sitting between these two during the plush rush, and I look at her. I look over at Shannon, and she is just like you were close to crying laughing at
I
that
was
point.
dying.
And I look over to George, and George is like having like a little bit of an asthma attack.
It
Um,
was so funny.
and it was so great. And I think everybody in the movie theater was just completely like it came out of nowhere, but it was like everything you wanted it to be and more.
I would watch
Yeah.
a whole movie of just
That's, I think-
Kay and Peele. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because and that's the thing, like if they're gonna move these franchises, you have to have new
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if those two came back with like a new franchise, I'd show up.
Yeah.
I'd show up if
Oh,
Disney
if it has
put-
Toy Story on it, I'm gonna go see it.
right. But I'm
It's
gonna
a
see it
Toy
more if
Story.
the plush rush is back. Just
Exactly.
being
Sure.
honest.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks, George. Oh,
And actually, that was a great ending too, with
don't
with
know
what
which
they
one
did
I'm
at the carnival, or not.
oh, where they
fair,
let the
whatever it
other
was.
toys out or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, they kept letting kids win. Guy turns
Oh
around.
yeah.
and he's like, they're all gone, and he's like, it's my minimum paid job. I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Oh, the plush rush when they become giant like Godzilla
Yeah.
and start shooting lasers, like pew pew pew. That was the
That was
end
so
credit
funny.
scene was so good. But we should move on. Yeah, thank you, George, for your number 4. Mine number 4 is Spider-Man: Far From Home. Easily because Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker we have ever gotten on screen. He's a good Spider-Man, but he nailed Peter Parker. He is like if you read the comics and watch that cartoon, he's
Yeah.
Peter Parker. Like when you watch the old Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield and Toby Crybaby Face, I call him Toby Maguire. I'm just
Toby-
Mary Jane.
Toby emo
Every
face.
emo face. The only time I liked him was in the third one where he does the dance. You know, where he's just emo.
That's the time you liked him. That's
Yeah.
when everyone else couldn't stand him.
I did not like Toby like for the life of me. I just
I
couldn't
liked him when I
stand
was 14.
Well, yeah, I get what you mean. But anyways, long story short, Tom Holland is easily perfectly cast as Spider-Man Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He is the right age to be a high school student. He was actually 15
Yeah.
when what was the first one called? Homecoming?
Yeah.
He was 15 when he was cast, so he was 16, 17 when they filmed it, and he's 19
Thank you,
now. 18,
Hollywood,
19.
for making a high school movie with actual high schoolers.
Right. Except for Ned, who's 30, but
But
we're not
you
going to talk about that.
Maybe
The actor is not the
he was
character.
snapped a couple extra times.
I think they were all snapped. I think they're all Mary Jane, Ned, all of them.
The only
Slipped?
person who wasn't was that one guy who ended up being
The
older
Asian
than
kid.
everybody.
Yeah, the Asian kid's the only one.
Oh yeah, that's
That
right.
wasn't
Ned.
snapped
Yeah,
back.
yeah, he's like 30.
But the bully,
But
Flash,
honestly, he
everybody.
pulls off high school. Like,
Oh yeah. No, I totally agree. But I'm so excited, and I know, okay, I know I'm gonna get attacked for this comment, and I don't care. Hate me all you want. I don't want Captain Marvel to be in charge of Avengers in the next Avengers movie. I want it to be Peter Parker, Spider-Man,
yes,
taking Tony's role.
I agree.
I'm not sexist.
100%.
I have nothing against Brie Larson.
No, it's just the character's boring. Captain Marvel was boring.
I just think you could do, or you could have it
Not
like.
only that, she's portrayed as a lot more of a loner kind
Yeah,
of person
Yeah,
as well.
Peter Parker would be a
I
good
mean,
leader.
Exactly.
And I think Peter would be the person that he could convince Doctor Strange, he could convince Captain Marvel, Black Panther, any of the other heroes that still, Thor who's still there, any of these heroes like, hey, I really need your help. Who would say no to Peter Parker? Nobody would say no to
That's
Peter
true.
Parker. Doctor Strange would be like, okay, and like so would everybody else. They would gather around Peter Parker. Nobody's gonna gather around Captain Marvel. I'm sorry, it's not happening. Disney, stop making Captain Marvel. I love Captain Marvel. I enjoyed the movie. I love Brie Larson, but she should not be in charge of anything when it comes to Avengers. So that's my 2 cents and why my little rant is on Spider-Man.
Brie Larson needs to go make more little indie movies because that's where she shines.
But you know what though? I hated Captain America 1 and Thor 1, but I love their sequels.
Okay.
So Captain Marvel does have an opportunity to make better movies, even though I
Sure.
think everybody across the board can say Captain Marvel's okay.
I mean, origin stories.
Origin
are
stories
always
suck. Yeah, I agree with that.
I love origin stories.
I do
Didn't
not.
like hers.
Really, I didn't like any of them except for Guardians. That's the only origin story I
That's
like.
a good one.
That's
a
about it.
great
Or Iron
origin
Man
story.
1. But that was like 12 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is, like, I think Captain Marvel does have an opportunity here to do something really cool with the sequels and even with Avengers. I think she can really shine. But as of right now, my money, I'm putting bets. Come on out. Let's have a poll. Let's have a vote. Who should lead the Avengers? I'm saying it. I'm voting for
Rocket
Peter
Raccoon.
Parker.
Rocket Raccoon for the win.
He could talk anybody into anything.
He could.
Or you could steal your eyes.
Exactly.
Or your gun.
Or your leg.
Or arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we can just keep going. But anyways, the point is, Peter Parker, that's my vote. He should lead. Or Doctor Strange, because I just love Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
No other reason. That's my only reason.
Oh, Benadryl Cumberbatch.
I have no idea what that just meant, but I'll go with it, sure. My next reason why I put it there is Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh my gosh. They got somebody so good as an actor who can make you believe he's good, but then turn and make you believe he's evil. And
Yeah.
like, he was so, I think he might be my favorite supervillain in the Spider-Man movies.
You know,
out of
if he
everybody.
wasn't in this, maybe he could have been Two-Face.
Oh, you're right. Or Joker.
Well, I don't
Same.
know if I would. He's a little bit too clean of a character to be the Joker.
So was
I think.
Heath. Heath Ledger was in like romantic movies where girls had pictures of Heath Ledger on their walls of how cute he was back in the day. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor. I think he could pull it out. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, the point is the villain, like Jake Gyllenhaal turning into Mysterio, doing like he made you believe he was like, you weren't like that stupid, like he was good, and that's what Marvel. No, you believe Jake Gyllenhaal was legitimately that character who turned and was just like manipulating everybody.
Yeah.
And my third reason is I love what they did. Like, how do I say it? Like, Tony Stark is the Uncle Ben of this Marvel Avengers universe, and like pushing Peter Parker to be more responsible, to be more like, you know, because in the old Spider-Man movies it was Uncle Ben who was the one pushing Spider-Man to be a hero and take responsibility seriously. In these movies it's Tony Stark and his death and how it's affecting him and it's growing him, and I'm really excited. Honestly, I think I'm really excited to see where Spider-Man Peter Parker ends up with his journey that started with Homecoming all the way to now after his mentor, his father figure passing away. So that's my biggest reason as to why it's number 4. And I'm gonna stop talking now. So you can tell us your 4th one. Shannon.
Okay, my 4th one was Yesterday. Yesterday was the Beatles movie that came out with I can't remember the guy's name, the Pakistani lead actor.
No, he's
Raj
Indian.
Patel?
No, he's Indian.
He's Indian?
He's
Okay.
Indian.
Raj
The one
Patel.
from Stuber is Pakistani.
Oh, that's who I thought. Okay.
Mhm.
So the guy who does the Beatles music, I saw it with my whole family. It was a good like family movie that you could take everyone to. There was some pretty funny lines in it. It was super predictable, but if you want to just put on a movie in the background and hear some Beatles music and it has a little bit of a plot, man, this was a good movie.
I love the part where the father comes into the kitchen and what's the
He's like,
you look like
kind of look like Ed Sheeran.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
I am
oh,
Ed Sheeran.
I am Ed Sheeran. It's like,
Okay.
good for you.
Good for you.
Have you seen where the pickles are? I don't know where
Oh,
the pickles are.
I also the funniest line in this movie is when they're in the he's in the hotel room with the girl he has a crush on, and she starts kissing him, and she goes, "You know what? Maybe we shouldn't do this. I don't want to have a one night stand." And he goes, "Well, maybe it doesn't have to be a one night stand." And she goes, "When do you leave?" He goes, "Tomorrow." She goes, "That's one night." I died laughing.
Actually, the love story was really well
It
done.
was really sweet, and it was a genuine relationship.
I genuinely believe that she had a huge crush on him, and he was just an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
no,
say
and,
that.
and they didn't rush into things. They
No.
took their sweet time, and then when they got together, it felt genuine and it felt like a friendship rather than just a forced love story. In a movie.
Amen, sister.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You never see that in Hollywood movies. It's
Actually,
becoming
you're
more
right.
common,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
usually
Sure.
it's like in Spider-Man where it's like, oh, I didn't
Just
talk about,
randomly.
I had no interest in Mary Jane for the first movie, and then for some reason I have a huge crush on her in the second movie. And
Yeah.
you don't often see like there's a friendship or a relationship built up, and
That's
then they fall
growing.
in love.
Yeah. No, that's
More
true.
of that in Hollywood. Come on.
I mean, we've gotten movies. I'm trying to think. What's the last one?
Yeah, name one.
Jerry Maguire.
I don't know what that is.
That's the first because it's so famous, and it's like she's the assistant to Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise feels nothing, and they like have this relationship, secretary, agent, and then like it kind of grows into a love story.
Oh.
You'd like it.
Okay.
It's the famous line, "You complete me."
I
That
didn't
everybody
know
said.
that's what that was from, but okay.
You had me at hello. Another
okay,
famous line.
that one I know. Yeah.
That's the movie.
Okay.
So that's. I agree with you. That's another movie like that.
And the music was really good as well. They did like the
metal-
metal cover of
Help?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I want that playing on a loop. It was good.
I literally
I'm
got that
shocked
song
how-
afterwards. I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta have this one. This one
It
from the
was so
soundtrack.
good.
Yeah.
It made me wish they'd done more covers in this movie.
Absolutely.
And the
Yeah.
villain was hilarious.
Do you know
She
why
was-
they didn't do a lot of covers in this movie?
Why?
They could only like afford
the
2-3
licensing.
songs, and then it was too expensive for them.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
get Beatles
licensing would
license
be
is just
so-
yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. But one of the other funniest lines in this movie was, "I hate it, but I didn't care enough to listen to it again to find out why."
Wasn't that agent lady girl from
Yes!
Saturday Night Live?
I love her. She was hilarious. This was the best role I've ever seen her in.
Everything she said is like I was thinking it. It's like this is not your typical Hollywood movie because
No.
you know he's not your typical 6 abs like good looking guy who falls in love.
Yeah.
He's like this Indian dude, and it's like, and she just calls it out every time she sees him. It's like, you know, you're not that good looking, so we have to change that. You have no fashion statement, and what is wrong with your teeth?
I don't care about you because you are a product to me.
Yeah. You know, every Hollywood actress watching
Oh,
that.
I was
Well, I was like,
dying.
I am a product
Oh,
to them.
that was great.
But she made you like confront the idea that he would never be this pop star or like this famous guy if it wasn't for the music, and it wasn't even his, it was somebody else's. And I thought that was really well done because I know there's a lot of people who are gonna walk in and smirk like that, you know, like he's not your typical white man who gets the girl or whatever. And I thought the way they played into that was really cool.
And the other cool scene, he goes and visits one of the Beatles, and he's like 73.
I broke the news to him the other day that
I actually liked the
John
movie
Lennon.
more after you told me that. I
Yeah.
didn't understand
Wait,
what
you
that
haven't
scene
seen it
was.
yet?
No, I saw it. I just didn't get the scene. I didn't know what they were
Oh,
doing.
you didn't get
Yeah.
that.
I didn't
Okay.
get like
And
one of
that's
the Beatles
why
died.
He, why he was so happy
I'm
that,
like, why
that he was alive. Was,
the guy just didn't.
You made it to 73.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. See, I didn't know
part
that.
was really
but-
touching.
But once you revealed that to me, I'm like, oh my god, this movie's amazing now. It went from being good to like amazing after that scene.
It was interesting. It was kind of an examination of how much of your life do you want to give up for your music.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, I've had a good life. I fell in love. I got married. I've spent 40, 50 years with the woman of,
My dreams.
of my dreams, and I wouldn't take it back. And I'm happy now, painting and just doing my own thing. And like, it's really is a. Once you understand what they were trying to shoot, because I didn't get it, because I don't follow the Beatles that much, but it showed like fame and like what's more important, like relationships,
Right.
family, or money and fame, and like which one. Both have costs. You
Yeah.
can't pick both.
And that's what our main character was struggling with. So when he finds
Him.
saying like, yeah, led a happy, productive, full life, and I never got famous, he gets it. The main character gets it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on. Here we go. Top 3. This is gonna be the big one, you guys. We're gonna. What's your top 3?
Top 3.
George.
Okay. For me, it was Avengers Endgame. So I know some people aren't going to be happy about that, but I thought it was actually a pretty good movie.
Did anybody not like it?
I heard a couple people that didn't.
Well, they're stupid.
But-
Just kidding. Not that your
You don't like
opinion's
it, you're
stupid,
wrong.
but you are wrong.
Okay, so honestly, probably a lot of the reason why this was such a big movie was because of how anticipated it was. Everybody wanted to see it.
Everybody and their mother wanted to
Everybody.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the box office numbers honestly just kind of say how anticipated it was.
Wasn't
And
it now the biggest movie of all time?
Yep.
Yep.
It's beaten Avatar. It's officially
And-
the biggest movie of all time.
Wow.
And to be
And
perfectly
rightfully so.
honest, yeah.
Even
Absolutely.
if you adjust for inflation?
No, but
Okay.
it's
No,
still
yeah,
a big
it's-
deal.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, that was a huge thing. I was anticipating it for a very long time. Ever since I saw in Infinity War, that was
Last
Man.
summer.
yeah. I couldn't wait to see Endgame. So that was huge for me, the whole waiting.
It's true.
Another thing, it kept things moving for a film that long.
It doesn't get boring.
It doesn't get boring.
And it doesn't feel like a
hard-
3-hour movie.
That's a hard thing to accomplish.
shocking.
Yeah.
It totally nailed, like you're saying, like
Even
running
for me,
time.
with no interest in the movie, it didn't feel like
That's
3
how you know
hours.
it's good. When like
Yeah.
time flies by, even though if it's the worst movie, I tell this to people all the time. If it's the worst movie, 90 minutes is too long. But when
Mhm.
it's a really good movie, 3 hours seems too short. And Endgame,
It was
I agree
great.
with that.
And okay, like this one, Captain America. Like like this was a huge thing for me. I think just everybody was excited that he was able to use
Mjolnir,
yeah,
or the hammer,
The
Thor's
hammer.
hammer.
that
pick it
was that was like that made the ending for me.
I saw it
That made it.
I saw it in IMAX on midnight. People got off their seats and were just like screaming, like just like
Wow.
losing their. This guy threw the popcorn and nobody cared.
Oh my god.
It got insane because it was so. Like I said, like only one movie could do that, and it had to be
That's
Endgame.
true.
Who could really 10-year journey? Like we're talking about 10 years of 22 movies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can't. It's I
There's
know
like-
what you mean.
There's 48 hours of Marvel
Mhm.
material.
Right.
You could start today and 2 days later still be watching Marvel material.
That's true.
Yeah.
Some you can just skip, but I know what you mean though.
Absolutely.
Oh, was that,
That
it?
was- that
Oh,
was-
okay.
that was it for me.
I didn't know if you were had another thing. Okay, so I guess it's on me. What is my top 3? I wrote it down. I don't remember. Yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna repeat everything you said, so I'm not gonna spend too much time reviewing it. But I'll do one thing. It's the reason it's in my top 3. It's the most original. This movie is franchises and sequels this summer. And Yesterday came out of nowhere.
True.
Original screenplay. It was something different that you've never seen before, and it totally made it. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I would say it was like that too. It was completely original, but I really loved how, also, like you were saying, like just the growth of that relationship between those two characters.
You never see that.
Yeah, and it leaves you like satisfied. Like, you ever get that feeling when you walk out of a movie and you're like, it's like eating a really good burger.
I needed that.
Yeah. Like where you're like, there's a lot of movies that don't hit that, but you still like it. This movie hit everything I wanted to do, and it still did it, even with the bombshell of what you told me about when you met the Beatles guy. Even then, I was satisfied, but I was more satisfied after you told me like that Beatles passed away, and that's why it's a big deal. And I didn't, like it's amazing, and the songs are really good. Like the metal song, what was it called? Help.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was.
And I love his buddy. I know you didn't get a chance to talk about it, but the buddy that he had who was helping him, he is
so
funny.
I've had an idea. It's not a very good one.
Yeah. Okay, 2 scenes. If you've seen Yesterday, it's spoiler, but you don't, the one where like they're looking for her and they're running around the train station and like they finally sit down and he sits right. It's like, what are you doing?
Down in the middle.
I almost passed out laughing so hard. And the other one was, it's like, I didn't know what my purpose in life was until I met you, but I think I was meant to help you. And then he has this like really heartfelt moment, and then he opens the door and it's the wrong side. I'm sorry. And this is not the stage. Let's go the other. I just did not see that coming, and it was so funny. But yeah, that's my little reasons and everything Shannon said review of Yesterday. So you can do your top 3 now.
Okay, my third was Aladdin. Which I've never seen the cartoon of. I've never seen the full thing. I've seen songs.
It's so weird.
Well, it is weird, but I grew up in a family that we didn't watch those kind of movies. I don't know why, but we just didn't.
You do know why. You just don't want to say it.
Well, and yeah. Well, we didn't watch that movie as kids, and I never saw it until I was. Well, I still had never seen the cartoon. So I missed out on that experience as a kid. And, like, I knew all my other friends were watching it when I was little, and I missed it, and I wanted to go see it. So to be able to go see that Aladdin and Lion King was the same experience for me. To be able to go and see this movie with an audience. My family actually went and watched it with me.
Which one?
Aladdin. They went and saw Aladdin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they liked it a lot. So they've gotten over their thing from 20 years ago.
Oh, thank God.
But to be able to like go relive this experience.
If you guys wondering why I know this, it's because I've known Shannon since high school. So
way back, like more than 10 years.
When he was a baby, George was a baby.
Oh my gosh.
We were in high school.
I feel old. Don't say that.
It's true.
Speak for yourself. I'm 21 forever, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyway, so
yeah,
I'm
21 too.
Yeah, to go see Aladdin in theaters and Lion King was a really cool experience because it was one that I missed out on and never thought that I'd get to have. I'm also Middle Eastern, although I don't look it. I'm 25%.
Lebanese in the house?
Yeah, 25% Lebanese. So my grandfather spoke Arabic. So I don't think I've ever seen a whole entire movie cast with Middle Eastern actors that I can think of. Like, I've seen Bollywood movies and stuff.
But that doesn't count. That's not Hollywood.
But not like an American or a Disney movie.
Yeah, you're right. I think.
So it was kind of cool to see that on film. And I liked it a lot. Jasmine was a really nice update to the
my gosh, she's so good in this movie.
To the cartoon.
Whoever that actress is, yeah.
And Will Smith was amazing.
Will Smith was phenomenal.
He was phenomenal. He's never bad in anything. I've never seen a bad Will Smith movie.
I have, but we're not going to talk about it.
Men in Black 2, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wild West.
Oh.
I thought that was funny.
But Will Smith is always the best part of those movies.
That's true. You're right. No, I'll give you that.
So, I mean, I thought the Genie was fantastic. He lived up to Robin Williams' legacy. and it was just a cool experience.
It was
bright. It was colorful. The music was good. They went on a magic carpet ride. The only thing I would have liked them to add was the song from the musical. What was it called? There's a song from the musical that's only in the musical. I wish they would have put it in the movie. It was really good.
I have no idea what you're talking about because I've never seen the musical, but I believe you.
Yeah.
Cool. So number 3, we're now at number 2, George.
Number
Two.
two. Okay. So for me, this is gonna be a surprise to probably everybody. Stuber.
Really?
J-Man is number 2 for me.
Still have
That's
that.
shocking. That
Part
really is
of the-
shocking.
Part of the reason is because it's a movie. As you said, if it really sticks with you, it's one that
Sticks
you.
with you. Yeah.
That one stuck with me. It's still, I still laugh thinking about the stuff that went on in that movie. Just so many things were so hilarious in that movie. Like I was laughing,
I was crying. Yeah.
probably
Oh my
probably
God,
at
so good.
least half of the movie I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
I need to go see it.
it
You've
was-
talked me into it.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. And that was also one of the few movies where it's like there were actually quite a few times in it where they just like the main actors, they like just had like guy talk.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You don't usually see
Guy
a whole
talk.
lot of that
Yeah.
in
Or
movies.
the buddy, like I was
What do you
saying
mean
in
by guy talk? Like locker room talk, or
No.
Not quite. No, it's like they're just having almost like a heart to heart,
Mhm.
like down to earth,
Oh.
like as real as they can be, and it's just amazing. It's
Okay.
just an amazing.
It's like, okay, guys don't show this is hard.
emotions.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they don't. They're afraid sometimes.
I've noticed.
To like, because it hurts their man pride. I mean, I didn't get raised that way, but I've met a lot of those guys who are like have the tough
Yeah, you're not like
persona.
that at all.
No, not at all.
Not even
And
a little
I wouldn't
bit.
even pretend to be.
No.
I cry in movies and everything else for that matter. But
All the time.
probably crying right now. I don't know. But I know what you mean. Like to get characters that are like that type of macho man, whatever it is, and they don't want to show emotions. To get that barrier off and actually talk about it, I agree with you.
and
It was surprising and it was good.
It was with multiple people too. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just like him
The
and
manager.
The manager, like the manager at his store,
Yeah,
where he
that he
works,
hates.
that he can't stand. Like they have like this
This
really,
really good
deep,
moment.
emotional conversation with each other.
Aw.
Yeah,
There's even
it's-
the guy
yeah.
at the strip club.
Yeah.
That was hilarious, and it was just there were so many good hilarious things, and
it's everything just worked. I agree
It's
with
it.
you. Yeah.
You gotta
and-
go see it now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
You'd like it. Yeah.
It sounds like the anti-Hobbs and Shaw, because they were like, I'm a
It
man.
basically is.
I can
It
pick
kind
people
of
up."
is. It's not though, because he does treat him a little bit like he's a nuisance in the beginning of the movie.
yeah,
Like
but
how-
well,
With the
that's
blindness
what makes
and,
it.
funny.
That's what makes it so hilarious.
But then
I
you
think.
get that moment that The Rock and Jason Statham scares never got.
Exactly.
I can take 5 shocks from a car battery.
That was so great. It's like, why did you
Why
say
did you open your
that?
mouth? It seemed like a
Such
cool
good
thing at
idea.
the
Say
time.
it.
Yeah.
It seemed like a cool thing to say at the time.
Yeah, that's as far as it went. You didn't really. I mean, you did get a heart to heart with
the daughter.
the females and the daughter, like
Yeah.
the
But not
his
the men.
sister with both of them, and then the daughter, but not
I
the
never
men.
really
no.
felt like Jason Statham and The Rock actually made friends or liked each other. They were just sort of tolerating each other
Well, yeah,
better
that's
at the end.
that's what they were shooting for,
Okay,
and
okay, cool.
they realized that they could teamwork and actually get it done.
MacGyver. Oh, MacGyver. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
McJagger.
Yeah,
That was good.
yeah,
The
and
Mc-
Jagger, McJagger.
Yeah, McJagger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so that's your number 2. Do you have
Yeah.
anything else you wanted to add?
Oh no, that was about it.
All right, here comes my number 2, but I gotta open my phone because I forgot what it was. And it is Endgame. My number 2. You know what? I do believe Endgame is amazing. It's great. It did everything it was supposed to. But for me, like Infinity War would be number 1 if you
I'm-
were doing a list last summer.
I'm really interested as to what your number 1 is.
Well, I did text you guys the list.
I know,
but you
but I
might have not
didn't
read
read
it. But yeah, Endgame was really good, and I'm gonna just go off a little bit of what you said and add a little bit, so we're not wasting too much time on just repeating things. I think seeing the closure of those 5 or 6 original Avengers from 2012, Hulk, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hawkeye. Like that, those 6 characters get that ending was what this movie was supposed to be, and I didn't know I wanted that until I saw it. Like, oh yeah, like they're all not coming back, or they could, but they're not going to be in the next Avengers, and really just focusing on them and what they had to do to save everybody else,
And the teamwork, really.
and the teamwork they had to have, and the reconciliation that happened between Iron Man and Captain America in this movie was so needed, but done perfectly. Like they had their moment, they got together, they talked about it, and then they became teammates again and trusted one another again. And watching Black Widow and Hawkeye like try to one up each other who's gonna die off the cliff was so
That was wild.
emotional and wild, and just it hurt so much because Hawkeye became so messed up with his family passing away that he was a murderer. So he's like, no, I have to do it because I'm not good anymore, and you are. And Black Widow's like, no, I'm gonna save you and your family. I'm gonna do it. And that was just really just like I felt more emotional there than I did most of the movie until the ending, of course. It was so well done, and Iron Man, wow, what an arc for Tony Stark to go off the way he did, sacrificing himself to save everybody else, and it hit all the notes, it hit everything, and we're not even talking about Thanos yet. You know, like his start from Infinity War and how he's been kind of been here. You get peaks of Thanos in Guardians or in Avengers, but you don't get to see the full-fledged Thanos until like Infinity War and Endgame, and how they did that character. Like there are times when I'm watching Thanos on screen and you forget it's CGI.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
you
so...
think he's a real thing that exists.
Right, like like
he's
when I
just
look
an
at Rocket Raccoon, I can be like, that's not a real animal, that's CGI.
Yeah.
But when I look at Thanos, I think he's real.
He does look real.
Until somebody tells me, oh yeah, that's all makeup and CGI, and he's not even on the screen right now. And you're just like, what? How's that even possible? Are we that advanced now?
Aliens.
Aliens. Okay, right, yeah. Well, he is an alien, technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Thanos' arc is great, and let's see if I had anything else that I wanted to add to this. A little bit nope, that's it. 22 movies came to a beautiful closure after 10 years. Endgame, number 2 for me. Infinity War would have been number 1. I liked Infinity War more just because it was less sad, except for the ending. It was more just really cool action scenes. But yeah, Endgame number 2.
Number 2 for me, Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Spider-Man.
My goodness, I enjoyed this movie. I'm not usually one for action movies, but the action here was done really, really well. Spider-Man's such a likable character, and Tom Holland portrays him so well. I could watch another 6 movies with him, and probably will.
Yeah.
Probably will. And he
soon. Home Alone, Spider-Man coming to theaters.
Spider-Man Home Alone. Yeah. But Spider-Man, man, it was great. The only problem I had was Mary Jane. Like, all of a sudden he likes her, and there was no reason for it in the first movie. Like, they never address it. But I thought that the little girl that played Mary Jane did a really good job, but they just didn't give her anything to work with.
I mean, she definitely got more to do in this movie than she did in Homecoming.
A lot more, yeah. And she seemed more like a real person than like the superhuman Tobey Maguire version of Mary Jane, who was I can swing with Spider-Man, no problem. I'm
never doing that again.
That was good. Never doing that again.
That would be me. I'm like, you're not picking me up, and no, I'm gonna die. You're gonna drop me.
The CGI was so cool. The way that the drones projected a whole reality for him, and he goes inside the reality and blah 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 blah. I almost was expecting like characters from Into the Spider-Verse to come into this one because it was so good. And they could do that. That would be really cool just as a cameo. Yeah, they have Black Spider-Man come in here. That would be pretty awesome. Nicolas Cage Spider-Man, yes!
So funny.
That would be hilarious, but make him live action? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyway.
You know Nicolas Cage is in Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah. Oh. I've seen it. Spider-Verse was great. But I always like Spider-Man movies, and this one's got to be the best one I've seen. I thought that Spider-Verse was going to be the best one, but this one might have topped it for me. It was just so cool. Yeah. Oh, the end credits were the best part of the whole movie.
Get me Spider-Man! Yeah. Is that it? Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right, we are now moving on to our we finally made it. Our number 1 movie of the summer 2019. George, start us off, sir. What is the best movie you saw this summer?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
So for me, I know it was a long movie. It dragged out at certain points. I almost fell asleep during a certain portion of this film, but it wasn't. It was because I was tired. It wasn't actually because the film was that boring.
And it still made it to his number one list.
It still made it to my number one
even
list.
though he fell asleep.
Almost.
That tells you I almost fell asleep.
So yeah, it was. I have to admit, like, there were a lot of really awesome things in this movie. Like, just the acting was so amazing for it. And I know that's something that normally is the case with Quentin Tarantino movies. Like, he's quite the stickler about making sure the acting is perfect. But it was so perfect.
So perfect.
I mean, like, yeah, it was just amazing. Like, you just seeing even like little portions of a certain character, you got an idea of what their personality was, like what kind of person they were. And you don't always see that in movies. Usually they have to have a lot of story to it,
yeah,
to actually understand like what that person's like. But with this movie, it was like you saw them for a few minutes and you just kind of had that feeling of what they were, essentially. And that's so hard to do. I mean, it really was quite amazing for that. There were a couple other things. Let's see. Best ending to a film all year, I think.
Easily. Only Captain America would, and him picking up the hammer would come close.
Yeah, that was the only other thing that would have been close to this. I still think this one was the best one though all year. To be perfectly honest, just wow. It was funny, it was crazy, it was hilarious. Like it was just downright awesome.
For you, it was like the best movie you could have seen all year.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And also, I would have to say this is the best use of a flamethrower in a film that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He just goes and pulls it out of his garage. Like, what?
The funny thing is, you see him earlier where he's like in the Nazi room, and he's like, "Burn, you Nazi bastards!"
Who ordered some sauerkraut?
Who ordered some sauerkraut? But then he has it in the garage for whatever. Burn sorry.
That was so hilarious. It was just so good.
Yeah, I agree. Why don't you? I forgot to say this earlier. Why don't you tell just give a list. Like, what was number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
All right. So number 5 for me was Aladdin. Number 4 was Toy Story 4. Kind of fitting right there. Number 3
so true.
was Avengers Endgame. Number 2 was Stuber, and number 1 was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, thank you, George.
Because I know yours is not going to be number 1 Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Mine was.
You want to go next?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to cut in line here because I want to build off what you were saying. Yeah, mine was also number 1 Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it made the first list for so many reasons. It gave me a history lesson, something that I knew nothing about, without actually telling me the history. It was beautifully filmed. The cinematography, can we just talk about how gorgeous this movie was?
Like I said, like you could turn off the sound, have it in the background,
and it would still be wonderful.
And you could just watch the pictures.
Yeah.
And it'd be fine.
It's like a beautiful screensaver.
Mm-hmm.
The acting between, oh my gosh, well, Margot Robbie's good in everything, but the acting between Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, their friendship was like friendship goals. Like, I want a friend like that. Like, they've been friends for like 40 years, and they follow they do everything together, and just beautiful. And that acting, like Leonardo DiCaprio's acting, the little girl who was in this movie, her acting, like everything was on point. There was not a bad actor in this whole movie. Some of the coolest scenes that stuck out to me is when they're filming something that you know is filmed in the 60s on a black and white camera that's just going to be a square, and they probably only use one camera for the whole thing because that's how they filmed back then, but they film it for your perspective like a modern day movie, so it's old-timey acting, but it's in full color with beautiful cinematography.
Yeah.
And you know what they're doing, and the way you see it, it was so cool. It was something I don't think I've ever seen in any other movie before. So, all around beautiful movie. I never would have gone to see it if not for the show. So, that was another reason that it made my top 5 number 1 list was I'm so glad that I went to see it. If I had saw the runtime was almost 3 hours, guarantee I would never have gone to see it. But it was very long and there were parts where it dragged, but worth every second.
There are times when we see the movie and we don't want to see it and it turns out to be terrible. And there are other times where, like Shannon says, for this, we go see it and it
turns out to be really good.
Shocks us to the core. Yeah, I agree.
And it stayed with me. This movie has stayed with
That's
me
true. I'll
since
give
I
you
saw
that.
it. I had to go learn more about the history of it. I didn't know who Sharon Tate was. I didn't know what.
Oh, you looked up all that stuff. Wow.
I had to,
Okay.
yeah, because I was so confused during the movie. I also know now that I know the history, I would like this movie even more.
So you'd be willing to watch it again down the road at some point?
Not in one sitting, but yes.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us. Start off with your list. What was number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Number 5 was Toy Story. Number 4 was Yesterday. Number 3 was Aladdin, and number 2 was Spider-Man: Far From Home, and number 1, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What was you wanted to, before we move on to mine? What did you two want to put on the list, but it just didn't make it this summer that you saw, but just it was close?
I kept shuffling The Lion King around.
Okay.
And I think Toy Story beat it out.
I agree with that.
I was between putting Lion King and Aladdin, but Aladdin was a more fun movie.
For me, I think it was Spider-Man: Far From Home. It would have been.
Wait,
it would have
that's
come
not
in
in your
number
list?
6. Nope.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't even see that.
But
That's shocking.
I feel like Stuber
For
kind of jumped way up there.
Okay.
Yeah, no
And so
kidding.
because that just bumped everything down, it would have made it as number 6 for sure.
Everything on you guys' list is on mine except for mine doesn't have Stuber or Toy Story 4 on my list.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's pretty much exactly the same. So I think we're pretty evened out except for Toy Story
Movies
4.
that didn't make it were The Dark Phoenix. Oh my gosh.
Nobody's gonna put that in anywhere.
Nobody's
Not even in the
gonna.
top 10. I would have tried that.
What else did I say? I didn't put Avengers Endgame on my list. Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
I really wanted to see Booksmart, so maybe that'll make a
What's
jump.
that?
In. Booksmart was a movie that came out like right before we started doing this. It's
Okay.
been in theaters the whole time we've been doing this, and I keep
never even heard of
going.
it.
I keep wanting to go with my A-lister app, but
You should do it
I haven't had time.
because we were watching other movies
But
for the channel.
It has the little girl from Short Term 12, who's also in Last Man Standing with the red hair, the youngest daughter.
Oh, okay, okay.
She's really good in Short Term 12, and it has the friend from Lady Bird, and I think their chemistry on screen is fantastic.
The two girls
Yes.
were. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Now I know. It hit
looks
me.
really good.
It hit me. It took a
looks
minute.
really funny.
But yeah, I'll go with my number 5 was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Everything They Said and More. Absolutely. Number 4 was Spider-Man: Homecoming. Number 3 was Yesterday. Another movie that I would say stays with you after you see it is Yesterday. Number 2 was Endgame because oh my god, I think I legitimately got depressed for 2 weeks. Like it affected me that much.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Tony
Like-
Stark.
I've
'Cause,
already forgotten everything in that movie.
Just for us, I grew up watching Tony's. I mean, like that was 11, 10 years ago when
That was a
Iron
long
Man.
time ago.
Like 11 years ago, and it's been, and the way they killed him off, and not even killed him off, just gave him that ending. Really, it affects you because it kind of that character kind of becomes like a family member in some
Yeah.
ways because you're watching and investing so much time. It's like Gilmore Girls, like or a TV show where you've been so long part of it and seen it hit me so hard and it affected me so much. So yeah, number 2 was Endgame, but my number 1 is surprisingly it's Aladdin. So my number 1 is Aladdin, but
Oh.
the reason it's number 1 is because I hated the trailers. I didn't think Will Smith was actually going to do a good job. And nothing was selling me on it. And also the reviews came in from Rotten Tomatoes and it was like 60, 70. So I was like, oh, this is not going to be that good. Why am I even like excited for it? But we're doing a channel. I got to go see it. First of all, I don't know what the critics were smoking that day. Like on Rotten
Yeah,
Tomatoes.
this movie was fantastic.
It's one of the funnest movie. It really is. The chemistry and the script and just like watching Jasmine, Aladdin, like Jasmine's assistant girl. Forgot her name.
Yeah.
And the genie just it was so well made. The costumes, the songs, Prince Ali and Will Smith. My only wish was like, and Lion King. This is why Lion King fails in my book, because it tries to be the cartoon
Yeah.
rather than doing its own thing.
Yeah.
Aladdin live action is Aladdin live action. It has the same story arc. It has the same like plot, but it's its own thing. You can watch Aladdin cartoon while watching Aladdin live action, and you can say Robin Williams is not Will Smith Genie, and
Yeah, exactly.
and the Jasmine is not the same Jasmine. She has her own arc.
Yeah.
Even freaking like Aladdin himself is a lot different.
Yeah.
And Jafar you mentioned earlier, and it is and Prince Ali's song. I have literally watched Prince Ali probably like close to 50 times on YouTube because it is such a great song and dance number.
They made it colorful and they went all out with it. Lion King didn't.
Yeah.
Lion King showed like what it would look like in real life. The
And that's
reason
it.
we animated it in the first place was because you couldn't do it in real life.
Right.
Duh.
Right. And you hit this on the nose, and I 100% agree. All Middle Eastern actors. Genie is African American, Will Smith, and it just like Black Panther and Crazy Rich Asians, another movie with all Asian actors. There was this stigma in Hollywood for a long time that only white actors could make a movie make money in Hollywood, especially with the budget. So they would cast like Middle Eastern actors that were actually American or white for a long time, and it's like yesterday, like the lead is an Indian who's not your typical hero romantic guy, or Stuber with Drax. I think he's like Mexican or something, right? The guy who plays Drax.
I'm not sure.
He's like South American, and then like Camille Nanjiani is Pakistani. We're in such an interesting time in Hollywood right now because we're now getting more culturally. We're getting movies that are getting the same recognition and money that big Hollywood movies used to get in the 90s. And Aladdin's made over $1 billion, and it deserves it because it is so good. And I'll call it out. All you critics on Rotten Tomatoes who did not like Aladdin, you guys are on crack. Because like seriously, like it was so good.
What else did you want out of it?
Right.
Yeah. What more would you have put in there?
Right. And so for me, it was just like really shocking that it was, because like I was shocked how good this movie was. Me and my wife were sitting there from the first scene to the very dead last.
There's no like
completely
legs
sells.
Yeah.
And the actors that play Aladdin and Jasmine too, they are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And like they're some of the best actors you could probably find even today in like other movies and stuff like that. Like Brad Pitt and Leo. Like they're gonna be huge stars on their own rights, and they should be because they were so good in that movie.
Yeah.
So for me, Aladdin just shocked me to my core. I was so happy to see a movie. Like I know it's September 11th, and not that I'm trying to get political here or real world here, but like there's this weird stigma for a long time that all Middle Eastern or like terrorism and things again, you can't portray them as good, and like Aladdin broke that door wide open and said, you know what, Middle Eastern actors can lead, and we're not gonna let racism define that, and we're gonna show a movie that everybody can watch, and that can be a family-friendly movie about Middle Eastern culture, which is what Aladdin is. And so for me, it was just everything I wanted to be and more. It was so hard because I was like fighting Aladdin and Endgame, like which one would have been out, and I had to really think about it. But for me, like it had to be Aladdin. It had to be Aladdin.
I don't like it when they force diversity into a movie and
Right,
make it more
right.
important than the movie.
Mhm.
That's true.
This one didn't do that.
No.
It only makes sense to have Middle Eastern actors. It takes place in the Middle East before like airplane travel was invented.
Yeah.
So it wasn't forced and it wasn't shoved down your throat. It was
Yeah.
just a natural part of the movie.
And same thing I could say with Black Panther. Like when
Yeah.
you watch the
Mhm.
Black
Absolutely.
Panther, that needs to be all African American in a nation in Africa, and you're like, this works. Like that's not shoved down, but you're setting up a story that required all African American or African actors. And then the same thing with you guys should see Crazy Rich Asians. It is so good.
That was
but
a good movie. Yeah.
You did see it?
Yeah, it was good.
And
I still need to.
oh, it's so good. And I was thinking the same thing while I was watching it. Here's a girl who grew up in America. She goes to China? No, Thailand. Where was she? Singapore.
Yeah.
Singapore.
I
Oh
still
my
haven't
gosh.
seen it.
Oh, that's right. You've said you've seen it. I don't know why I thought it was George. Singapore, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And like that shock of not being Asian enough because she grew up in America, and like her fiance is Asian, but they're like her mom, her family, her friends are all judging her because she's
Oh, yeah.
American Asian.
I
She's
forgot
not.
the plot of this movie.
It's not. But like things like that, really. But that's not forced. Like you were saying, forced diversity.
It wasn't forced. Yeah, remember?
It was like exactly
remember
what that
when they
movie needed
did
to be.
Wrinkle in Time, and they like don't get me wrong, like the actors did okay, but they forced a bunch of like diverse characters
Well,
into
the
that
book
movie.
is the book is like that. It's from the 60s, 70s.
Well, they forced a bunch of diverse characters into this movie, and it became more important than the actual story or plot. So the movie failed because they were like forcing puzzle pieces where they didn't fit, rather than just casting the best person for the role, regardless of race, which is what should be done.
Well, I mean, the girl is black in
The
book.
girl did a really good job.
She did. She did
No,
a good
she's
job.
not.
Yeah, like
I don't think she has a
I
race
don't-
in the book.
I don't think they did a race change or forced race in that
It
movie.
wasn't
It was
the
just a
girl.
bad movie, but
It was a
was-
bad movie, but
Yeah,
it was a bad
it
movie,
was-
but it
it
wasn't
was-
like,
forced race at all.
Oprah was floating around in there, and like
I mean,
That's
Kelly
true.
Kapoor from The Office, and like they didn't fit the role.
Well, they're not supposed.
No.
Okay, so I've read the book. Have you read the book?
Yeah, I've read the book.
They're not supposed to be human. That was my only. They're supposed to be these beings.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They were like, "Look, we cast diverse people," and
But
I'm
they're
like,
not. They're gods who are
but
like magical.
That's not what the
creatures.
character is.
Yeah.
So you kind of
It's like, why is
diversity
Oprah?
in front of.
And, yeah, and I like all those actors. I do.
And I couldn't get like every
I get
time
what you're saying,
Oprah's
though.
giant face came up on the screen, I was like, "That's Oprah. That's not like this otherworldly. It's Oprah.
Yeah.
She should be on a talk show." Like, I have nothing against Oprah, but she
I
didn't
do.
fit in that movie. Anyway,
She has too
okay.
much money for no reason. That's just my opinion on the matter.
She does
Anyways,
give people a lot of free stuff.
bees. She gives bees. Anyways, that's a YouTube joke if you ever find it online. But yeah, I agree with you. I forgot about the three women who were forced.
And I say this as a quarter Middle Eastern person. Like it's in my blood. Like, I don't.
No, like when it's done properly or it's done
great.
naturally,
Yeah, it's
and
good.
you can take like like for example we
Yesterday
have
did a great job. with it.
yesterday like that's what I was gonna say, like it
Fantastic.
was originally supposed to be a white male actor but they switched it with Indian, but somehow like it wasn't forced. It felt you gotta find that button.
Actually, it felt more natural.
It felt more
Yeah.
natural
Yeah.
when it was not written for an Indian man or Indian actor. So it
Spider-Man
just-
Into the Spideyverse did a great job with it.
No,
Like,
they didn't. MJ should be white, but that's a whole other story.
No, Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse, the other one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That one
okay.
was
Yeah,
a
I'll
great
give you
one.
that.
With Miles Morales, he was awesome.
It was-
Hey, let's
You
talk.
can even take a traditionally white role and change it into another role.
But let's talk
Little
about that.
Mermaid's
I
gonna
don't
do a
like
good job
MJ.
with
I think she's a good actress, but I don't like.
Are you talking
the-
about Far From Home again?
Yeah, like I don't
She's
know.
a good actress, but I don't know why
why is Flash Middle Eastern Indian and why is MJ African American? I have nothing against those races. I just don't understand why they changed it. That's my only question.
I feel like it doesn't matter for those characters what race they are.
You think so?
For MJ,
But for me, I grew up with the cartoon, so MJ is a redhead. She's a redhead.
true.
that is
And there
true.
are African American redheads, as we have all learned because of the
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid controversy.
Again, if it's not forced, I will all like the Little Mermaid. Will Smith wasn't white and Robin Williams was white, so but
Yeah.
it worked.
But it worked, yeah.
But I'm saying like if they can get it to a point where it makes sense, I'm all for it. But with MJ, I have nothing. I actually like her a lot. She was in OA. It's a
She
Netflix
was really
series.
good. Yeah, she acted
And
really
she's in
well.
the second season, and I've seen her in
I thought that she'd make a good Little Mermaid, but I don't know if she can sing.
Atlantis. Somebody said Atlantis. She'd make.
Oh yes, that would be good. I would
Which I-
watch
because
her
she
and
is-
Tom Holland. She looks
she's
just
brown.
like that character.
Yeah. But oh, gosh, you made me lose my track of what I was gonna say. What was I saying before? What did I say? MJ, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she was in the Hugh Jackman movie with the singing in the circus,
Oh, that's what she was in.
and she's really great in it.
Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman.
I didn't
But,
know
like,
she was in that.
That she's the girl with the jumping, and Zac Efron is all like,
Oh, okay.
"I like you so much, and I'm gonna follow you
They're
around."
like 20 years apart in
Yeah.
age, but okay.
No, she's 24. He's 30.
Oh, she's 24? She
Mhm.
plays like a 15-year-old. And she looks.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. When men age, we age fast, and when girls age, they age slow. Unless you're
Oh, I think it's opposite.
Keanu Reeves or Tom Cruise. I think like girls look like they're
What
still
about Paul
young.
Rudd?
Paul Rudd's 50. Like I said, like except for the few like Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Leo, and Paul Rudd, and these guys. Will Smith too. He's turning 60, and he looks like he's still
And he's
30.
coming out with a movie
Gemini
where
Man.
he looks so young.
And Gemini
I like
Man is also
Gemini Man looks really good.
written for a white man. It was originally
That
written
looks
for a white man.
great with him.
It does look great. I'm just saying it was originally written for a white man. That was my whole point.
But I'll
Anyways,
watch Will Smith in anything.
I think
You can replace Will Smith with any character.
except for the one with where he gives his body parts and kills himself.
What?
Whatever that one was. You know, like
I Am Legend?
No.
Oh.
It's
That was
the
also a white
he's drinking and driving, gets his wife and
I,
his
Robot.
daughter. No. It's not sci-fi. It's a drama. Okay, it's called somebody can Google this for me later, but he's some businessman and he's on his phone and he's not paying attention to what he's doing and he gets into an accident because he doesn't realize that the light is red and then he gets his car crashed.
Beautiful Mind?
You can Google it. It's not that. And then his whole family dies.
That was
And then
one
at
where
the
you're
end,
dealing with
it's
depression.
very controversial. He kills himself and gives all of his body parts, kidneys, hearts, brain, whoever needs it, to like people who are dying because he doesn't think he deserves to live because
Don't remember that one.
it's not. I mean, the point was it's a movie that you would want to see.
Okay. All right,
Will Smith
good.
movie. Anyways, Tuna. Oh wow, we've been talking for close to 2 hours now. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Top 5 was. I knew this video was gonna take long. And there was just so much to see. All right, guys, we'll be back. We're gonna try to shoot our video Monday, and I'll try to make it go up by Tuesday or Wednesday. But we will go see Dora, all of us, and we will all go see
The Kitchen.
The Kitchen. So look forward to that review. Thank you for tuning in to our top 5 of the year, of the summer, not the year. Top 10 will be at the end of the year, in December or January, something like that.
Are you going to see Scary Stories?
Yep.
Cool.
You're for sure gonna see it.
Yeah.
So you'll see 3 movies this week.
Yep.
Good thing you have the A-list.
Yeah, because you can see up to 3 movies a week.
All right, you guys, go
It's gonna
down
be all
and
of them.
like and subscribe. Go on the Patreon. Check out our website. Check out our Facebook. Do we have a Twitter?
You do not.
Okay, don't check out our Twitter.
But if you want to make our Twitter, go for it.
All right, cool.
I can only keep track of so much. But yeah, Facebook, website, GeekdomMovies.com. You're on our YouTube channel. Click subscribe. Click like. We love you guys. We love hearing from you guys.
Leave
Keep
comments.
sending the questions and comments, and we'll reply to them as soon as we can. Have a great week. We'll see you next week for Dora and the Kitchen. Bye-bye.
Bye. See ya.